Jonathan Mukundi was by then a renowned multi-millionaire in Kiambu County. His life together with his young wife Philomena Njeri seemed blissful. Sadly, their idyllic life took a twisted turn, sending shockwaves throughout the nation. According to outsiders, they believed that the couple's relationship was meticulous, a perfect image of what love between a man and a woman should be like. Their lifestyle was one filled with parties, travel, and public display of affection and pure passion. Unfortunately, the veil that concealed the true state of their relationship would unfold that day when Jonathan made that heart-wrenching decision to end both his life and that of his dear wife. Jonathan Mukundi Gashunga was born on the 14th of March 1977 in Nairobi County. He was the second child among three siblings, born to the late Michael and Teresia Gashunga. He grew in a Christian-based family, devoted members of the Catholic Church. Mukundi attended APTC Utawala for primary school education and later joined Royal High School for his secondary school education. Sadly, Mukundi had suffered serious childhood trauma after his father committed suicide. After high school, Jonathan, with his great love for business, he dived headfirst into the entrepreneurial world, set up his first business in his early 20s. He bought a new tattoo and branded it as Nameless after a famous Kenyan artist named David Mathenge. It operated in the Route 100, Kiambu, Nairobi. A few years later, Jonathan was introduced into a business of buying old cars that have been written off by insurance companies, buying them at a throwaway price, redeeming the parts and then reselling them at a much better profit. He was exposed into this form of business by an uncle who he was named after. With his dedication and aggression, Jonathan grew drastically and finally set up a business establishment, a car parts venture in Mlolongo area, Machakos County. The business thrived, finally turning out to be the largest supplier for second-hand spare parts across Nairobi. He later expanded his business abilities into real estate. Years later, his business had grown enough, accumulating enough wealth, which helped him have a position as a respected and influential tycoon in Kiambu. He was finally nicknamed as Bazoo, which translates to Big Boss. Jonathan, being a person with enough money, he set up a home in Muslim area in Kirigiti, Kiambu County. The home was quite prestigious in that it had a huge security wall, security cameras, and a number of security shepherd dogs. It took him 7 years to complete it. Despite his wealth, class, and status, Mukundi was described as kind, jovial, and outgoing. He easily mingled with people regardless of their social status. He was never proud. However, despite being such a good person, Jonathan had his flaws, just like any other human being. He had anger issues, a weakness that finally cost his life and that of his wife, Njeri. Just to emphasize further on his anger issues, according to a neighbor, he had once unleashed his dogs on a domestic worker who had stolen cans of beer from his fridge. The neighbor also stated that Jonathan could not tolerate having unknown individuals near his home. He would randomly shout at strangers from the balcony, asking, "Unaingia huku ni kwa mamako?" which translates to, "Why are you entering my home like it's your mother's?" He would then chase them away without giving them a chance to speak or explain themselves. Jonathan had an ex-wife living in the USA together with their 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. Details about his relationship with his ex-wife remains very classified and had never gone public. The only clear detail known was that Jonathan was a dedicated father who traveled severally to the USA just to visit his children. We all all deserve second chances, and so Jonathan took his. In 2010, he fell in love with Philomena Njeri Wanjiru. Philomena was 14 years younger than Jonathan. She was born on the 3rd of March, year 1991 in Kerogoya, Kirinyaga County. Her mother, Margaret Wanjiru, was a single mom, and Philomena was her only child. Philomena's father had never been in the picture. So, being the only child, she and her mother were more like friends than mother and daughter. Philomena Njeri attended Kiambu Primary School for her Kenya Certificate of Primary Education. She sat for her final papers in the year 2004 and excelled well. She continued her secondary school education at Kirinyaga Girls High School. She sat for her Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education in the year 2008. After that, she joined Zetech College and enrolled for a diploma in Information Communication Technology. After college, Njeri set up a small business in Kiambu town. Besides business, Njeri loved outings. Just like her husband, Jonathan, she loved the finer things in life. In this year of 2010, their fates would cross at a local club where Njeri had gone to have fun with her friends. Despite their age difference, the two connected deeply, especially after sharing so many interests. They were both business persons. They enjoyed partying, and above all, they were both born on March. They both shared the same zodiac sign, the Pisces. The beauty of it all, Njeri's outgoing personality complemented Jonathan's more self-reserved personality. Their love blossomed quickly, and they ended up settling together as husband and wife. However, they never officiated their marriage at first. Njeri left her business and became her husband's business manager at the Mlolongo car parts dealership. The two remained dedicated to their business, but not leaving behind their social life. They loved traveling together, would hold lavish parties for their family and friends at their home at Kirigiti. Some other times, they went to visit their mothers who they were very close to. In their 6th year of marriage, that's when their marriage life began to fall apart. They got into frequent arguments and would lead to breakups and Njeri moving out of their matrimonial home. There were several allegations that the reason for their frequent wrangles were Njeri's too much partying, money, and having no child. After all these years, during the COVID-19 season, their fights became even more aggressive and frequent, mostly because people remained indoors for days. Being cooped up at home for such a prolonged period worsened their fights. On the 3rd of March 2021, the day when Njeri was turning 30, she held a lavish birthday party at their home, inviting friends and family. She enjoyed to the fullest. After all, joining her 30s was a milestone worthy of a celebration. Sadly, right after the party, the couple got into a serious fight, which forced Njeri to move from their matrimonial home for the longest time ever. They separated for a period of 5 months. Despite the family and the friends' efforts to try to reconcile them, it all turned futile. Out of frustration, Jonathan was forced to orchestrate one of the most heinous plots, which impacted towards their untimely death. On August 2nd, 2021, Mukundi made efforts of luring Philomena into their Kirigiti mansion. On that evening at around 8:30 p.m., Jonathan, who owned a fleet of cars and never drove on taxis, suspiciously got into a taxi at his mansion. He was being driven by his close friend by the name Robert Njuguna. It remains unclear to date as to where they were headed, but a few meters from Jonathan's house, the taxi got into a small accident, leaving both Robert and Jonathan unharmed. Right then, Jonathan called the Kiambu police station, which was only a 13-minute drive away from where they were reporting the accident. When the police arrived at the scene, they towed the car and Robert accompanied them. For Jonathan, he went straight back home with no injuries at all. From there, he caught his wife Philomena, letting her know that he got into an accident and that he needed to be looked after. He also requested Njeri to come and accompany him to the hospital. Fearing that Jonathan was unwell and that he needed medical attention and her care, Njeri came to the mansion. Right before going to the mansion, Philomena's mom had tried to stop her going back to Jonathan, fearing that he was capable of doing the worst. Her motherly instincts were so alive, yet they did not save poor Njeri. Once in that mansion, no one knew what exactly happened between the couple. Probably they got into a fight. After all, it was a huge home and they were locked up in their bedroom. The only thing that was as clear as daylight was that Mukundi, who owned a registered gun in Kenya, pulled the trigger on her, ending her life so untimely, before he also took away his own with the same firearm. On the morning of Thursday, 3rd of August 2021, the house help noted that the couple did not come downstairs for breakfast or even lunch, assuming that the couple might have slept in. However, the circumstances that befell the couple would be revealed after Robert noted that Jonathan was not picking his calls, yet he had been trying to reach out for hours now. This made Robert have a feeling that something was amiss since Jonathan had never missed any of his calls. This forced Robert to go to the police station at Kiambu and reported his concern. His report was under the occurrence book number 80/3/8/2021. The authorities accompanied Robert to the mansion. When they arrived, they had noted that the door had been locked from inside, and even after a knock, no one responded. The police had to break the door down. They discovered both Jonathan and Philomena dead, leaving clear evidence that Mukundi had done the ruthless act. They found the murder weapon at the scene, a mini Glock gun with serial number BEZA475. The puzzling question was, how did Jonathan take the shots without making a sound, since the neighbors stated that they heard no sound during the gruesome act? The news went viral about the couple's death, and everyone was shocked by such tragic news. Everyone wondered what exactly had happened, yet they were seemingly a happy and thriving couple. The media tried to come up with theories that were never proven in an attempt to understand what exactly happened between them. There were rumors alleged by neighbors that the couple fought a lot due to excessive partying and money spending, infidelity, and lack of a child. Their close friends revealed that Jonathan had started to get displeased by Njeri's behavior of too much partying, as well as stealing money from their car parts dealership, which she managed. They further added that Njeri was using the money for setting up a commercial building. She was also building her mother a home. This allegedly provoked Mukundi's anger, where he had even threatened of terminating the marriage and sell their marital home. Mukundi was so serious about his plans. A few days before the tragedy, he had hired property valuers to come evaluate their home. Further information was revealed by their inner circle friends, saying that Jonathan kept accusing Njeri of seeing younger men and had even set up a car spare parts shop for her alleged boyfriend. This surfaced after a car wash worker discovered used condoms in Njeri's private car. According to a close friend, the drastic action was fueled by Mukundi's suspicion of Njeri seeing another man. This had gotten him depressed, and he could not overcome the embarrassment. A friend to Njeri revealed that Njeri really wanted to have children, but it was quite baffling since the couple had been together for more than 10 years, yet they had none. Njeri's friend believed that the fight which led to the tragic event was all about having children. Njeri had recently lost a close friend who left behind a child, an experience that made her desire to have an offspring of her own. But there were claims that either Makundi never wanted to have any more children, since he already had 3 children, or he was facing some health issues, making siring almost impossible. Further rumors had cooked that after Njeri went to the mansion, she revealed to Jonathan that she was already pregnant with another man's child, which led him to committing the crime. However, after an autopsy was carried out on the 6th of August 2021 by the government pathologist Dr. Johannesson Odoo on both bodies of the deceased, reports confirmed that Njeri was not pregnant, thus demystifying the rumors. However, it indicated that she died of 2 gunshots to the head and 2 on the abdomen area. This revealed that at the same time Makundi was committing the crime, he was a very infuriated person. For him, the report indicated that he died of a single self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Dear viewer, all the theories as to why Makundi killed Njeri were just speculations and allegations, and so do not be quick to judge the victim. On the 10th of August 2021, Philomena was finally laid to rest at her mother's land. In an attempt to cut the ties between Njeri and Jonathan, she was buried away from her husband and his family was not allowed to attend. Furthermore, the family assured that Jonathan's name did not appear in any of her final send-off documents, not even the obituaries or the eulogy. She did not take his surname, but rather the grieving family members and friends chose to use her mother's name as the surname. She was eulogized by her friends as beautiful, bold, charismatic, and a lady who faced life head-on. She was a go-getter. Her mother also eulogized her with a beautiful message, which was read out by her aunt.
From Mom, a daughter is a mother's best friend. Jerry, my one only child, it hurts me that you are gone, but I'm thankful for the best that years of my life that you gave me. Through it all, you have always been there. It's always been me and you against it all. You are my source. You are my source of joy, my pillar of strength when I thought I couldn't make it. Whenever I looked at your smile and laugh, I yearned to fight for another day. I'm jealous of heaven, for it has gained an angel of my precious princess. I cried when you passed. I have cried every day since then. Although I loved you so dearly, it was beyond me to make you stay longer. Yours was a golden heart that stopped beating. Every hard-working hand that were put to rest in your passing, God broke my heart to prove that He takes the best, for indeed you are. The void you have left in my heart will never be filled by anyone. I will hold dearly the memories we created, for they will be the ones to keep me going. Fare thee well, my dearest daughter. Love, Mom.
On the 12th of August 2021, being a Thursday, Jonathan was also laid to rest by his family and friends. During his send-off, he was eulogized as hardworking, kind, and loving. Public speakers at the burial spoke about the matter of addressing mental health among couples, highlighting that it was evident Jonathan had been struggling mentally, what forced him to commit the ferocious murder. The speaker also called upon the media as well as the private bloggers on being considerate and sensitive when it comes to the information they were posting about the incident. This was after the lies the media and bloggers had painted about the case, which was not only misleading but also offensive to the surviving family members. The tragic death of Njeri at the hands of her abusive husband, Jonathan, reveals the profound and complex nature of abusive relationships. While the public may question Jerry's repeated return to Jonathan despite the abuse, it is essential to recognize the psychological phenomenon known as trauma bonding. Trauma bonding occurs when a victim develops strong emotional ties to their abuser, often due to cycles of abuse followed by moments of affection or remorse. These intermittent good moments can create a false sense of hope that things will improve, leading to the victim to stay in the relationship despite the harm. Jerry's attachment to Jonathan was likely rooted in this dynamic. Despite the abuse, the occasional acts of kindness or expressions of remorse for Jonathan could have reinforced her belief that she could change him or that the abuser was consistent. This emotional attachment can overpower rational decision making, making it credibly difficult for the victim to leave. Over time, these cycles of abuse and reconciliation can trap the victim in a state of confusion and dependency, unable to break free from the toxic relationship. From the perspective of the crowd, it is easy to judge Jerry for continuing to return to an abusive partner. However, those who have never experienced such manipulation and emotional trauma cannot fully comprehend the psychological hold an abuser can have. The external judgment often overlooks the deep psychological scars that keep the victim bound to the abuser. Whether through fear, guilt, or warped sense of love, it is crucial to approach such cases with empathy and understanding of the complexities of abusive relationships. Ultimately, Jerry's death served as a stark reminder of the importance of recognizing and intervening in cycles of abuse before they reach such tragic ends. It also emphasizes the need for support systems and education on realities of trauma bonding so that those who are trapped in such relationships can receive the help and guidance they need to escape before it's too late.